Y2K. I was in the Virgin Islands sailing around, and I stopped at this island. He told me to see what he bought, because he didn't fix the place up yet.
He had just bought it.
Oh, I don't remember what year he bought it, but he didn't build it out yet. So I went to see what he had there. So and he wasn't there at the time. So I just went to see what he bought.
Oh, so he was in the place?
When I was in there.
Was Chilean at the place?
No.
Okay.
Just the caretakers were there.
The caretakers were there. So you were never there when there was a party and with the girls and all this
No,
stuff?
like I said, we didn't hang out together and socialize.
When you heard all the news and the accusations that all these, hey, you know, Bill Clinton was flight log is this, and you see the flight log list with all these famous names that you hear about. I mean, you've seen the names. I don't need to tell you the names. So many powerful people that actually went to the island. Do you sit there and say, yeah, you know, he probably did some stuff he shouldn't have done, and he's probably guilty of some of the things that he would be, you know?
Well, he told me he was getting in trouble for being a girl too young. He didn't deny that, you know. So I think he was, you know, he was sort of accepting the fact that he was girls. Now, whether or not he knew they were too young, is, you know, I'm not trying to defend him, but people are telling me that the girls have said that they were told to tell him that they were our age, that they weren't underage. This is again, I like to stick with facts, so this is secondhand information.
Right.
But journalists who've spoken to somebody
Right.
have said that they were told not to tell him their true age.
When you went into the house, did you see any famous paintings, like, you know, the Bill Clinton painting people are talking about?
I didn't see that painting, no.
Oh, you didn't see, because this is 2000. Maybe it took a lot longer to paint that painting.
Yeah, I don't know what else.
It's a legendary painting. So, okay, the Diddy case. Are you following the Diddy case at all?
No, not whatsoever.
You're not a big hip hop. You don't listen to hip hop. You're not a hip hop guy.
No, well, I mean, I like some music, you know, but I'm not interested in it.
Okay. Well, let me kind of give you why I'm bringing the Diddy case, which is kind of interesting. Is the claims against Diddy by, you know, maybe Gene Deal, his former bodyguard that was with him all the time, or some of these other names that are coming and making the claims, Jaguar, right, and all this stuff, and also boom, they're raiding his Miami home and his LA home, right? Okay. And you know, I go back and I sit there and say, well, if he went to a Diddy party, he had cameras everywhere. He recorded everything. So what if he's got videos on all these other people? And if he's got these videos, you know, they're worried that what if Diddy decides to leak those videos? And what if Diddy got so much power with these videos that he's negotiating to get full protection, and he's kind of pushing the weight a little bit too much? And hey, man, you just crossed the line, and you're not as powerful as you think you are, because these videos that you have and these tapes, that we can really destroy your life. Well, if you do. And then you think, well, Epstein, who had all these parties, and maybe people that went to his place, and everybody wonders, you know, how did Epstein even make his money? You know, your impression of the guy, you know, being a billionaire, $600-700 million, what is your impression of how your brother made his money? Because he made a lot of money.
He made a lot of money. Well, he started on Wall Street when he was young. And he started on Wall Street when...
He was a math teacher before, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, he taught math at,
right.
in the school in New York City.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he was very good at math. Right. Let's put it that way. And he was on Wall Street in the days when Wall Street was like the Wild West. And there's a lot of corruption going on. I remember we were still living in Brooklyn, and he started on Wall Street. And he came home one day. This has got to be in the late 70s when he started. And he said to me, I'll never forget, he said, if the general population knew what was taking place on Wall Street, there'd be a revolution in this country. That's a direct quote from him in the late 70s.
In the late 70s?
Yeah, when he started on Wall Street. You know, he was like the youngest partner on Wall Street, where he became a partner in Bear Stearns.
Got it, yeah.
And he all the corruption going on.
He looks like a skinny Lou Ferrigno here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
Does he not? Am I like the only one?
Absolutely.
Put a Lou Ferrigno next to him. He looks like a Lou Ferrigno twin.
That's why I'm laughing, because it's so true.
Type in young, yeah.
Oh
my God, he looks just like Lou Ferrigno. No relation, right? You guys did?
No.
Yeah. Wow, that was a little too close. Look at that. That is wild.
It's very deceptive on your part.
Yeah. So, okay, so late 70s, it says if the market knew how much corruption there is. That is wild.
It's very deceptive on your part.
Yeah. So, okay, so late 70s, it says if the market knew how much corruption there is.
If the population knew how much corruption and what was taking place on Wall Street, there'd be a revolution.
Did he ever break it down and kind of give you some ideas, or not really?
Yeah, he gave me a for instance.
What was some of the...
Well, one instance I remember, he said in the old days, you know, before they changed things, a broker would buy, say, $1 million worth of stock in the morning, and then he'd sell it at the end of the day. If the stock went up, he would then apportion it to the clients he liked. If the stock went up, he'd say, okay, I bought $200,000 from client A, $200,000, you know, for different people, and they get the gains. And if the stock went down for some reason, he can give the losses, whatever you want to give the losses to. So that's been changed. I understand now, well, brokers not really doing it. They used to be, everybody's doing their own work. But then when they changed it, when the broker bought the stock in the morning, he had to declare then who he was buying it for. So then if the stock went up, or the stock went down, those people got the gain or the loss. He couldn't then give the gains to Jim's and the losses to the So that was like just one simple example of what used to take place.
Anything else he told you or no?
Well, yeah, then he actually hooked up with an attorney, and they started going after brokers that were ripping people off. I remember there was one case, I don't know who the client was, but the guy gave a broker $3 million to invest. And after a number of trades, the money was gone. And the broker basically said, well, we made 10 trades and they all lost. Now, Jeffrey was a mathematician, and he knew that statistically, it's almost impossible to lose 10 trades in a row, just like it's almost impossible to win 10 trades in a row. Like, the odds are kind of the same. So when he sees that every trade was a loss, even if you did it randomly, you're going to get some gains. So then they started digging into this, and they found that there was a lot more trades made, and money was mishandled, and they would go after the broker and reclaim money. And whatever the money they reclaimed for the investors, they got 50% of. So they made a lot of money reclaiming money that was basically stolen from investors. This is what used to happen.
All of that stuff is great, but Mark, to go from $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, $2 million a year, $3 million a year, $5 million a year, $10 million a year, it's hard to make 6 figures. It's harder to make $1 million. It's harder to make $10 million. $600-700 million. How do you make that kind of money?
You make good investments.
Do you know any one of the best investments he ever made?
That he made? I don't know anyone in particular. I know. We didn't talk too much about it, but I know at one point in time he owned, or was one of the owners, if not the owner, of the company that made football helmets. I think it's Rydell. They make all the sports team helmets. He bought that company. They were in trouble and everything, and he eventually sold it and made a lot of money with that. I don't know the details of it, but I know he sent me a helmet, so I knew that he actually had the company.
Who is this one guy that we did 2 stories on? The one billionaire that said he paid $120 million of consulting fee to Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, that was Black.
Yeah, that's Black, right?
Yeah, because I heard that on the news also.
Yeah, Leon Black. Can you go up and just put Leon Black and put Epstein? Leon Black, Epstein. And for estate planning is what I remember. Estate planning. Said he spent there it is, okay. A billionaire paid Jeffrey Epstein $158 million for tax estate planning. Look, you're smart, okay? And I would use the word astute. Who the hell has ever spent $158 million on estate planning services? I just did estate planning, and I know some of these estate planners that are the high-end estate planners that deal with billionaires. I was at an event a few weeks ago. Only 60 billionaire families were invited. I was there myself. We're at a Goldman Sachs event. It's in Newton, Chicago. It was a very intimate event, and even those guys use similar estate planners that you go through, and you can do unique ways of doing it. The irrevocable life insurance trust, the ILAs, all the stuff that you do. Okay. You want the world to believe Leon Black gave Epstein $158 million just for tax planning services? If you're enjoying this interview as much as I enjoyed doing it when I was sitting with him, you may want to order the short allegedly, because the word allegedly is used a lot in an interview like this, and it's right. You can order the short. Last time we launched the allegedly, we sold out in no time. And trust me, it's very interesting the looks you get when you're in the airport, at the gym. You got a shirt on that says allegedly. People will come and smile at you, laugh at you, but many times they'll say, "Where did you get the shirt?" So pause the video, place your order, and then go back to the interview. Take care, everybody. You want the world to believe Leon Black gave Epstein $158 million just